thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Well, I've decided to declare this episode 1 of the Brian Snow Show. I know I did it last week, but this I had to do. I had a guest lined up, but I decided to pivot and make this episode 1, truly episode 1. A Pizzle, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to all. Welcome to what is now the absolute premier edition of the Brian Snow Show. It has taken me a while to put my name on the show. Of course, you all see and know me as Snowman from Snowman in the Morning. And I appreciate you all for supporting me for that. But this is a personal episode today, and I figure what better way to outline the show and outline what kind of show this is going to be than to put myself in the spotlight. And I'm not doing this because I want eyes on me. No, I want eyes on the show. I want y'all to see what kind of show this is going to be. All right. And this is going to be tough. So I need you all to bear with me as I'm sharing the show myself. And the guest that I had planned is going to share the show with me. Here we go. And I'll start this from a health standpoint. And I want to outline men's health and men's rights. This is the show that sports is the base of it, but life and fun are the result. And this is going to be about life, my life. 5 years ago, I was homeless. And I didn't know what to do. That's about as plain as I can put it. That's about as real as I can put it, and about as real as I will put it. Because of some things that have happened and some people I was dealing with, it all backfired. It all backfired. And I can honestly say that a lot of it was on me because I made very, very, very poor decisions. I wasn't a drug addict or a drunk or anything. I just made some very poor decisions in terms of people. And as I said, 5 years ago, I was homeless, living in LaPorte County, living in Michigan City. On the heels, 3 years prior to that, being in a very abusive relationship that I'll touch on later, and dealing with someone who has constantly and still constantly threatens me to this day, saying that he would, quote, expose me for the, what's the phrase that he used? I can't remember right now. But he said he would expose me for the fraud that I am, and he would contact future clients and alert them as to the con man. That's what he said that I am. I'll touch on him later on also. But I need to make this as real as I am, because I came to a point in 2018 July of 2018, as a matter of fact, where I said, screw it. I said to myself that I'm done. I said to myself that I'm I'm checking out because I had been thrown out of Dayton, Ohio. Well, I left Dayton, Ohio after the people surrounding me made me so anxious to a point where I wanted to end it then. I did. I really wanted to end it then. And I, for some reason, kept finding ways to stay alive, kept finding ways to keep going. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to. Hey, Pizzle, Rod Isaac, good afternoon to you guys. I didn't want to keep going. I didn't want to keep going through everything that I was going through and not, I mean it, and not deal with anything. I can't be more real than I am now. I didn't want to do it. And I said, the hell with it. I'm out. I'm done. If anybody remembers me, if anybody cares to remember me, I don't care to remember myself. And that's when I met Jody. Now, for those of you that have paid attention to the morning show, I brag on Jody a lot. And I do mean, I mean it. I do mean a lot. Because I cannot remember any time, I mean it, I can't remember any time where someone had affected me so much that I have a reason to live, that I have a reason to keep going. Well, I found that I found that reason. I found it. I found her. She found me. I was about I was at a cliff. I was at a cliff. And I said, the hell with it. I'm done. And that's when Jody found me and said, no, you don't. She said, no, you're not leaving me. I just found you. I just found you and you're not leaving me. Y'all know how special that is? For those of you who have been there, I often say to her, you threw out the lifeline just in the nick of time, from a song called Back at One by Brian McKnight. I often repeat this verse to her, and I mean every minute of it. Say goodbye to the dark of night. I feel the coming of the sun. I feel like a little child whose life has just begun. You came and breathed new life into this lonely heart of mine. You threw out the lifeline just in the nick of time. And she did. And she did. I could spend a couple of hours talking about how important Jody is to me, and it still wouldn't be enough. But just know, going forward, Jody is going to be one of the main characters in building me, and building this show, and building this network that I have launched and relaunched and relaunched and relaunched. And then finally she pulled me aside and said, quit relaunching, man. You got your brand out there. Stick with it and go with it. So I am. I'm sticking with it and I'm going with it. I'm sticking with it and I'm going with it because I'm tired. I'm tired of the relaunching, and she made me realize that over the course of the weekend. She made me realize that over the course of the weekend of how important it is to stick with one brand, to stick with one identity, something I value a lot. I do. I value one identity a lot. I haven't learned my own lesson. I never paid attention to my own lesson that I give to others. One identity, one look. So I created it and I'm gonna stay with it. I created it and I'm gonna stay with it, and I can't tell y'all how much Jody has taught me. I can't I can't tell y'all how much Jody has taught me. I can't tell y'all what Jody means to me. I cannot tell y'all what she has done for me and to me, because she has made me a much better man. She has made me a stronger man. She made me realize, hey, you got strength that you didn't even realize. And that is the truth. I'm still learning that. I'm still learning that. I am still Man, I am still learning to this day what it means to be a complete man. And Jody shows me that every day. And my children show me that every day. I still have a lot to learn. I know that. I realize that. I know, and I realize I still have a lot to learn. A lot. But doggone if I didn't get a good start after I met Dr. K. After I met Dr. K, there was so many changes that had to happen, that did happen, that needed to happen, and some that still need to happen. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, why are you making this a personal episode? I mean, didn't you launch the Brian Snow Show in January? Yes, I did. But my health at the time was still out of sorts. I have not gotten a solid schedule down until today. Until today, I realized, what I needed to do. And I thank y'all for staying on me. One of the brothers who stays on me constantly is Drew Willingham. He's constantly on me about, hey, make sure you make the stream for the show. Make sure that you help me publicize it. And I'm working on getting a publication team that will help spread the word about both shows that I do here on the network and all the shows I do here on the network. So if anyone's interested in an internship, a promotions internship with Snowman Multimedia, drop me a comment and drop me a message. And for those of you that are tuning in for the first time and you're tuning in via YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe, because we're just about at 500 subscribers and we want to get to 1,000 before April 30th. That's the goal. But I'll end this segment by telling y'all about a pep talk that I had with Jody. And a pep talk which was a big one. I had gotten scammed by a job on Indeed where it just seemed so right. It just seemed so right. Only to find out that I was wrong. I was dead wrong about the job, about everything. I was wrong. And I realized that. I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't take my wife's advice. I'm looking over here to get some things queued up, so forgive me. I didn't take my wife's advice. I didn't do my due diligence, I didn't have her research the position. And had I had her research the position, then a lot of things would have changed. But what was the last straw for me that broke me? I got classified as a non-rehire for Speedway. And I went to the Speedway gas station in Columbus, Indiana, and I got a time to get in there and meet with the manager and go over everything because I was ready to get back to work. I'll explain that a little later. I was ready to get back to work. Then this happened. She asked me, and this is nothing against her. This is nothing against the staff at Speedway in Columbus. Believe me, this is nothing against them. Then I was asked this question. What made you leave your Speedway position in North Carolina? Well, I had gotten diagnosed with blood clots in both my lungs and later on pancreatic cancer. She did the research, she did her due diligence, and I got a text message. It came back as a not to hire, a non-rehire. That broke me. That absolutely broke me. I came home and I was crying. I was a mess. I was a mess. After getting scammed and then Speedway, I just got a 1-2 sucker punch. You know what Jody did? Jody pulled me aside and gave me one of the greatest pep talks I ever had. When she told me, look, don't worry right now about seeking an outside job. I can handle the finances for now. And she's chief of finances in the household. She said, I can handle this for now. You build your show. You build your radio station. You get some sponsors and stay in your lane. You let me handle the finances for the household for right now, as well as the marketing for your company and for Snow Enterprises while I work to get my business going, and we'll do it together. That put me in a flood of tears, but a flood of happiness. Because I never thought that a partner, let alone a wife, would tell me something like that. And I couldn't be more happy that she told me that. Thank you, Jody. I love you. And thank you for just being there. We'll be back right after this.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies.
I kind of love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information, contact You Gotta Believe at YouGottaBelieve.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Sprinkling shows like this and often is cathartic to me. It gives me a chance. It's kind of like Snowman Unfiltered, only without the cuss words. And believe me, I plan to keep Snowman Filtered going, but it's going to be few and far between for right now that I have this platform right here. Let's go to the feedback zone. We're always presented by Fanatics. Vincent David Jackson says, "What's up, Brian Snow? Always praying for you, my brother." Thank you, Vincent. Mickey Delaney joining us from Washington State. The big dog, Shane Lake, my super producer, joining us from Maine. Sharif Ahmed, who was supposed to be my guest today, but I decided to pivot and do a solo show today, joining us from Houston, Texas. Rod Isaac, what's up, big fella? A-Pizzle 90, the Florida Atlantic alum. Congratulations to your Owls in getting to the Final Four. Thank you to everyone who has supported us and continues to continue to support us. If you like the content, and I'm asking everybody to help out in this fashion, Victor Locke did earlier today. Please help me and my family get through until we make our next move. You see the Cash App at the bottom of your screen for those of you that are just listening to us. The tag that you need via Cash App is $ Tallman Dr. K50. That's Tallman Dr. K50. And what I'm going to do is put all the ways that you can help support me and my family as we get through this tough time. Sharif writes me back and says, "Always got your back, Snowman." Thank you, Sharif, my brother. Always got yours too. Now, I'm going to tell you a story that not many men are afraid, not many men are willing, I should say, to tell. But I'll start it with let me reach for some water here, just a moment. But I'll start it with in the form of a question. And the question goes like this. What do you do as a man when you're abused in a relationship? What do you do as a man when you're abused and yet everything is thrown back on you? In 2015, I went through that. I went through a 10-month relationship, and this is the only time I'm going to tell this story here. I'm getting everything off my chest so that we can move this show forward. Episode 2 and beyond, we'll have some great guests. I'll tell you more of that at the end of the show. In 2015, I went through a very abusive relationship. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And yes, I said physically. I was living in LaPorte, Indiana, and met a lady named Jody Dials. And, you know, a lot of people are going to say, you shouldn't say her name like that. Yes, I should. Yes, I should. Just to tell y'all what she did to me. And I'll give the short list. And Big Dog Shane Lake, you remember this all too well. I know you do. I'll just give y'all the short list of what she did. She stole an advertiser from me. She tried to take my company from me 3 separate times. She went and blanked my best friend at the time, and she had him all up in her web, and he turned against me. I ran myself ragged covering LaPorte Athletics and New Prairie Athletics because, thank you, Sharif, for sharing the show, and greetings to Sig Diggy up in Norway. I was still covering Marquette Catholic at the time. The boys had just come off of a state final appearance in basketball. I was getting things together for baseball, and then she showed up, and my schedule and threw my schedule all out of whack. And I can honestly say part of it was my fault because I was caught in her web, and I allowed myself to be caught in her web. You know, when someone keeps constantly telling you you need to do better, you need to do better, I get it to a point. But when you're constantly told that, and then they tear you down, saying you're not good enough to do this, and then the next minute they're building you up, saying, you know, you're one of the best at it, your brain kind of goes sideways. You're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I mean, what the hell are you doing here? It really came to a head fall of 2015 when I was at a volleyball match for Marquette Catholic. I'm ready to roll that night. I'm feeling great. And she shows up, walks into the arena, and walks right up to me. And you know what this blank said? She had the unmitigated gall to look me in the eyes and say something to the tune of, at least I know what love is, and I just wanted to support you. Well, I marched right downstairs and let her have it verbally because I got tired. That was one of the first times I spoke up for myself in that relationship. One of the few times I spoke up for myself in that relationship, saying, look, if you really loved me, then you wouldn't be treating me the way that you were treating me. And I also told her, as mad as I could get at you, I wouldn't take it out on you. Earlier that summer, on my birthday, as a matter of fact, she basically told me she wanted me to get mad at her. She basically told me that. And I said, I can't do it. That's not my nature. That's not my style. To the point where she hit me that night. Just because I questioned some of the things that she was doing. And just because I told her I feared for her life and her safety, because apparently her ex was getting on her nerves, and all that turned out to be a big fat lie. All that turned out to be a lie, and I didn't realize it at the time. Give you another incident. LaPorte played Maryville in football. I drove to Maryville by myself because my spider senses went off and said, if I had her ride with me to Maryville, there would be hell to pay. And I knew it. I absolutely knew it. So I drove to Maryville by myself. I went upstairs. I set everything up and knocked out the broadcast. And I wanted to get the hell out of there before she found me. And believe me, she was coming to find me. I know she was. I know she was coming to find me. Well, I'm on the road back to Glenview, Illinois, and that's a story and a half. The guy I was living with, I'll save that story for another time. One minute she called me saying, I want you to be safe in driving back, and I love you, and I miss you, and all this kind of BS. And then 20 minutes later, she calls me back, and I didn't answer the phone because I was driving. left a message saying, quote, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're doing it with, I hope you're happy. And she sounded angry. And I'm thinking, I was in my car driving. And you're right, Stick. She was setting me up and setting me up badly. Well, there were two final straws in this case. The first one, my ex-best friend, Alvin Washington Jr., and I'm glad to say he's an ex-best friend now, wanted me to come pick him up, wanted me to drive to Chicago. Now, I'll set the scene for you. It's December of 2015. I'm already in LaPorte, Indiana. And I called him and I told him everything that was going on between Ms. Dials and I. Everything. I told him I feared for my life. I told him I feared for my sanity. I told him every deconstructive thing that she was doing to me. He asked me to come get him and bring him to the game that I was doing in LaPorte. Right then, my spider senses went off. I said, something is not right. 7 days later, I got my confirmation. When they both, well, actually, before I give you that, I'll give you this. Jody Dials and I had gotten an apartment together, which I signed the paperwork for, which I said I would handle this. And I was getting a few sponsors on my own, independent of her, and she didn't like that. For some reason, she didn't like that. I don't know why, but she didn't like that. Well, it all came to a head a week before Christmas, 2015. When one, she called me and told me to come get my stuff out of the apartment that I signed paperwork for. Secondly, she had this wicked look in her eyes saying, I hope you know why I'm doing this. And then here's part 3. Ms. Dials and Mr. Washington called me to confirm their relationship and to confirm that they were getting married. Let me say that again. On a phone call, a 3-way phone call, they confirmed their relationship to me and their intentions to marry, after it was my intention to marry her earlier in the summer. Yeah, you want to talk about getting hit by a sucker punch? There you go. Well, I'm glad that the folks at Door Village United Methodist Church, bless their hearts, found me a place to live there in LaPorte so I wouldn't be homeless. They got me moved in. They got me the basic supplies I need. I went home and I went completely off. That was one of the few times, well, first of all, that was one of the few times I drove 70 miles an hour from LaPorte, Indiana to Chicago, Illinois, and then back to Gary, Indiana, spent the night there. Well, the next day I moved into my place and the rebuild started from there. And I couldn't thank y'all enough for sticking with me. Shane Lake, the big dog, you remember everything I went through from 2015 to 2017 living in LaPorte, Indiana. And Bitter Truth, Joe, you were damn right. You're damn right. Mickey Delaney, I have a wonderful, loving wife now. And it couldn't be more. Oh, boy. Sick Diggy, you're right. Boy, I was Uncle Sam. Big time. Big time. I got through that season, most of it. Bitter Truth Show, to answer your question, I didn't move out. I was kicked out with the threat of the police. Her exact words to me were, quote, "Come get your stuff before I call the police," close quote. Well, like I said, that started the rebuild, and I couldn't be happier. It really started things. Now, there's another reason why the 2015-2016 season was the worst of my career, and a lot of it was personal. I'll explain that after the break. Before we go to the break, two pieces of business. First of all, you all know that I went through pancreatic cancer and that my family and I are trying to get on our feet and get to the next place, but we need some help. Wife's the only one working of the two of us, and we need as many donations as we possibly can. We got a $50,000 goal, and I'd love to reach that goal before, selfishly, my birthday, July 21st, so I can look at my wife and say, "Baby, I got us." And we can go on and get the hell up out of here. That's what I want to have happen. So for those of you watching, please support the Snow Strong Family Initiative. Go to the page gofund.me. That's gofund.me/E283E211. That's E283E211 with the prefix GoFund, GOFUND.me. Give you the whole website again, GOFUND.me/E283E211. And speaking of a papa doing his duty, I promised my daughter Cheyenne I would help her get home also. So there's a GoFund campaign for her too. She's out in Los Angeles. She has been very ill, and the donations have been flying in, and I thank y'all for that. But we got to get more. We got to get more for her. We got to get more for my family so we can both get to a comfortable spot where we can actually start to live. So if y'all would help my daughter Cheyenne with her GoFundMe, it's gofund.me/509DEE0E. That's 509DEE0E. And I want to tell you that we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the donations that have come in now and for those that will come in the future. We're trying to pull both of these things off as soon as we possibly can. Now, one more segment, and it's going to concern a person who has become a hater because I wouldn't pay him for something that he did. To my super producer, Shane Lake, you know this story very well. Back in a minute.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to BruxNightGuard.com and order yours today.
Hey, Atlanta, this is Snowman on location. You're listening to the Brian Snow Show on WQEE 99.1 FM, the heartbeat of Hotlanta.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's really funny.
Williams Hardwood Specialist offers all types of flooring. We specialize in sports floor resurfacing and installation. We also offer concrete resurfacing and epoxy overlays. Whether it's a small home with 2 bedrooms or the home the size of Michigan City's gym, Williams Hardwood Specialist is the way to go. If you need some hardwood flooring done or redone, give Williams Hardwood Specialist a call at 219-221-1093. That's 219-221-1093.
So this thing called sports, it has fans again. It has full stadiums, full arenas, and more. And you want to be a part of it, don't you? Of course you do. If you begin to scour the resale market, there will be tickets available. And what you need to get those tickets that you want so badly is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the app available to you that lends a hand in helping you get the tickets that you want for the events that you want. SeatGeek rates the tickets on a 1 to 10 scale, and the best part is the tickets are vetted for authenticity, so you know what you are getting and you know you are not getting scammed. And now you can save even more by using the code SNOWMAN and getting $20 off with your very first purchase. Yes, you can do all of that with the power of SeatGeek, helping you get to the games that you want, so you fans can fan. So let's all fan. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Just about at the finish line of this episode, and I want to thank y'all for joining me as I am here in Edinburgh, Indiana, on location for the Brian Snow Show. And this is going to become a habit, especially when we get to our next landing spot, because I plan to continue to test this setup, and I plan to do a whole lot more being on location. All right, one more story. Then we can get to what we're gonna. We can get to what's next. And here, here are some things. Here's some stories about a person that I worked with named Dale Yates Jr., whom I met at a Denny's. I had him work with me. He was my sales manager. I was just so excited to have someone do sales. Same with Jody Dials, that I didn't realize in my head that these people were not right for me. He hacked into my Facebook page at the time, 2010, and started putting out some very disparaging comments about the kids that we were covering at Clark High School in Hammond, Indiana. You know, he only got me one damn sponsor, just one. And to answer your question, Sig Diggy, I shredded that lease. You know, this guy is still messaging me today. Some of the stuff he messages me: get a job, Tubby. No one wants to hear your show, Tubby. No one cares about your show, Tubby. One of my personal favorites. What's worse, the show, the host, or the website? That's just some of the things he said. That's just some of the things Delbert Eugene Yates Jr., and yes, I'm putting his full government name out there because I'm going to find him and I'm going to stick a lawsuit up his ass, which is 10 years in the making. But I'm still going to stick a lawsuit up his ass because he's too dumb to realize that every time you send me a comment, sir, you keep the case alive. And not only do you keep it alive, you keep it current. Anyway, more of the stuff that he's done. I will tell you the main thing that Delbert Eugene Yates Jr. did to me that really sent me into a tailspin. I was covering girls basketball at Marquette Catholic, 2015-2016 season, and I'm having a blast. I'm having an absolute blast. The boys playoffs, tournament comes around, I beg your pardon, and the sectionals were in Knox, Indiana. So I call Knox, I set everything up, I pay the fee, and I'm ready to fly. The boys take care of business with their first game against, who'd they play? Winnemac. They take care of business. 58-51 was that score. I'm ready to go with the semifinals. I'm ready to go with the semifinals. All my prep work is done and everything, and then I get a phone call from Tony Midas, who was the athletic director at the time, informing me that because of a charge on a voicemail to the IHSAA levied against me, that I can no longer cover the teams at Marquette Catholic. And just like that, I was done. I was out. Well, credit to Tony, he sent me the voicemail, and I recognized the voice that was on said voicemail. It was Del. You know the charge? The false charge that he levied against me? That I was inappropriately touching 2 female students at Marquette Catholic. Let me say that again. He called the IHSAA and told them that I was inappropriately touching 2 female students at Marquette Catholic, knowing that's not how I roll. And then the son had the nerve, the absolute unmitigated gall, to put a veiled threat behind it. And the veiled threat was, somebody needs to stop him, and I'm paraphrasing, somebody needs to stop him or I'm going to the newspapers. Y'all know how much that tore me up because I was looking forward to more bus rides with the guys, with the boys basketball team and covering them. That tore me apart. That tore me apart. Because now the one thing that I leaned on for a little sanity and a lot of peace in my life was taken away. That one privilege, that one duty was taken away. And there's nothing that can hurt a man more when his sense of pride and his sense of duty is taken away. So since he's made it his life's work to try to ruin me, it is now my life's work to continue to rise above it. It is now my life's work to continue to beat him. And doggone it, it's part of my life's work to stick a lawsuit up his ass. A big one. But I cannot do that until I am settled. I will not do that until I am settled. Because I got some folks willing to help me. And John Fitzgerald, I hear you, my man. And back to Jody Dials before I wrap things up here. You know, there's two other things that she did that broke me. It broke me. The first thing that she did, and I'm not putting this in order. I'm not putting this in order. I want y'all to understand the kind of psychopath that nearly drove me to a grave, but gave me the strength to carry on. The first thing she did, when I found out that my daughter had passed away, and I'm talking about Donna, and I'm in the McDonald's in LaPorte just absolutely bawling, absolutely crying my head off. Jody Dials walks in, finds me. I don't know how the hell she found me. I parked my car in a spot that was covered by two other cars. I don't know how the hell she found me. I'm bawling. I got tears streaming down my face. And I tell her what happened. And you know what she said? I don't care about that. I want to talk about business. Now, that's a direct quote from this psychopath. And I'm not afraid to say it. She's a psychopath. I had to pack up and get the hell out of there before I actually, absolutely, completely snapped. I had to get out of there. The second thing she did, she told me that she was pregnant with my child. She killed my baby, y'all. Jody Dials, when she told me she was moving furniture, knowing she was carrying my child, the bitch killed my baby. I know this is tough for a man to reveal. And I was told a man be a fool to reveal it, but as God is my witness, I am that fool. I want y'all to get an idea of what the Brian Snow Show would be like. There'll be a lot of sports. There'll be a lot of real talk. I know. Sig Diggy, I know that she could have faked the pregnancy. I know she could have told me all that just to get in my emotions, but damn it, I already lost one child. And until I see different, she killed my baby. Do I want to see different? Possibly not. But given the fact that I lost one child, given the fact that I lost one child, I'm sorry. Given the fact that I lost one child, and then for a man to be told that the woman that you're dating is carrying your child. Yeah, she may have manipulated me, but it was 2015 and I was so torn up in knots about everything else that was going on around me at the time that I could have walked into that trap hook, line, and sinker. I understand that. I get that. I understand that. But until I see different, y'all, I'm inclined to believe that that witch killed my child. I'm inclined to believe that that witch purposely killed my child. So in a spread of months, this man right here that you're seeing on your screen lost 2 children. I'm completely blessed to have the family that I have. I am completely blessed to have the woman who is now my wife. I'm completely blessed to have everyone. And I'm completely blessed to have y'all check out this version of the Brian Snow Show. But this is how you're going to get it. Real, raw, emotional, and just plain truth. Because I know of no other way to bring it. I absolutely know of no other way to bring it. And I want to thank y'all for checking out the show today. Please, please, please support the Snow Strong Family Initiative via GoFundMe. E283 E211 is the ID. And please help my daughter Cheyenne get home to Cincinnati. 509 DEE0E is the ID you need there. Both are preceded by the website gofund.me. Thank you guys for tuning in to this special edition of the Brian Snow Show. I'll be back with the guests tomorrow, and I'll be back with a lot more throughout the course of this week. Stay tuned to the website, snowmanmultimediasports.com/The Brian Snow Show, so you can see and hear who's coming up, who's coming on, and all kinds of good stuff. Because I got a lot of good stuff planned for this program. I love you guys. I thank you very much for listening to and watching this edition of the Brian Snow Show, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Let's get this show rolling. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.